I did have dinner with Tim Cook. I had dinner with sort of almost all of them, and the rest are coming. And this is one of the big differences, I think, between, we were talking about it before, one of the big differences between the first term. In the first term, everybody was fighting me. In this term, everybody wants to be my friend. I don't know.
Hello and welcome to What the Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Monday, December 16th, 2024. Welcome to day 1427. Donald Trump downplayed concerns that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who he chose to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, will revoke the polio vaccine, despite reports that RFK Jr.'s personal attorney previously lobbied the FDA to suspend its approval of the polio vaccine. Trump said he's a big believer in the polio vaccine, adding, "You're not going to lose the polio vaccine. That's not going to happen." Trump also said RFK Jr. is going to be much less radical than you would think. He then cited a discredited theory that vaccines cause autism and suggested that Kennedy, a leading anti-vaccine crusader, is going to find out about it, saying something bad's happening. When asked whether schools should mandate vaccines, Trump replied, "I don't like mandates. I'm not a big mandate person." Meanwhile, ABC News agreed to pay $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit brought by Trump. Trump sued ABC News and George Stephanopoulos in March after Stephanopoulos said that Trump was found liable for rape in a civil case brought by E. Jean Carroll. Although the jury did find Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming Carroll, it did not find him liable for rape, because New York law defines rape as forcible penetration with the penis. The judge who oversaw the case later clarified that because of the narrow legal definition of rape, the jury's verdict did not mean that Carroll had failed to prove that Trump raped her, as many people commonly understand the word rape. Trump was ordered to pay Carroll damages of $83.3 million, and he is appealing the verdict. As part of the settlement, ABC News posted an editor's note online expressing regret over Stephanopoulos' statements and said the network will pay $1 million in legal fees. The money will be transferred to a presidential foundation and museum to be established by or for Donald Trump. News organizations anticipate that the Trump administration will target journalists' sources and pursue legal actions to curb critical media coverage. And discussions among Trump and his allies included subpoenaing news outlets, prosecuting journalists and their sources, revoking broadcast licenses, and cutting funding for public radio and television. Moving on, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and Sam Altman each donated $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. Apple CEO Tim Cook, who Trump has called Tim Apple, had dinner with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, while Google CEO Sundar Pichai will meet with Trump at Mar-a-Lago later this week. Trump previously claimed that Google was rigged to hide positive coverage about him, and Zuckerberg once banned Trump from Facebook. In his first term, Trump often made false and misleading attacks against Amazon and the Washington Post over factual reporting, conflating the two as the Amazon Washington Post because they're both owned by Jeff Bezos. Amazon has also committed $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund and plans to stream Trump's inauguration on Prime Video. Meanwhile, Trump's transition team has outlined plans to roll back Biden's electric vehicle and emissions policies, including cutting EV subsidies, imposing tariffs on battery materials, and loosening pollution standards. The Trump team has also proposed repealing the crash reporting rule that requires automakers to disclose accidents involving automated driving technologies, a regulation that Tesla CEO Elon Musk has criticized as disproportionately targeting its vehicles. Trump appointed Musk to lead the so-called Department of Government Efficiency with the goal of cutting government spending. Trump also tapped loyalist Devin Nunes as chairman of the president's Intelligence Advisory Board, a group in the executive office that oversees the U.S. intelligence community's compliance with the Constitution. As chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Nunes accused the FBI and DOJ of being biased against the Trump campaign and saying they abused their power during its investigation of Russian interference in 2016. Nunes resigned from Congress in 2021 to become the CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group, which runs Truth Social. He will continue leading Trump Media. Moving on, Trump has discussed privatizing the United States Postal Service, citing financial losses and inefficiencies. Privatizing the Postal Service would significantly impact business shipping, reduce reliable delivery in rural communities, and push hundreds of thousands of federal workers out of their jobs. Trump reportedly said the government shouldn't be subsidizing the organization, despite the fact that the USPS operates under a constitutional authorization to ensure postal services across the United States. In 2022, Congress passed a $107 billion bipartisan package to provide financial relief and help monetize USPS operations, the largest reform in nearly 2 decades. The USPS is America's second most liked federal agency behind the National Park Service, according to Pew Research. And finally, Trump called for ending daylight saving time, saying the century-old practice is inconvenient and very costly, and that the Republican Party would try to eliminate it. In 2019, Trump posted on social media that making daylight savings time permanent is okay with me, and either way, ending daylight saving time would require action from Congress. In 2022, the Senate passed the Sunshine Protection Act, which would make daylight saving time permanent, but it died in the House. Marco Rubio, Trump's pick for Secretary of State, has also repeatedly called to make daylight saving time permanent nationwide. All but 2 U.S. states, Hawaii and most of Arizona, observe daylight saving time. The other 2 instead remain on permanent standard time, which is permitted under the Uniform Time Act. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.